Hello, night traveler. This is Lunas, your dream teller from Magical Nights. Wrap yourself in your blanket and let your imagination run free as we venture through the enchanted paths of magical and fantastic tales. Tonight, our stories unfold in a bustling urban park where a magical secret lies hidden. Isla, an artist seeking healing, meets Niev, a guardian fairy who protects the harmony between humans and nature. In a journey filled with challenges and mystical encounters, Isla faces her greatest fears, frees ancient spirits, and discovers true courage. Ready to dream? In the heart of a modern city, hidden among skyscrapers and busy streets, there is a park called Central Park. Although it seems like an ordinary oasis of nature amidst the concrete, Central Park is a portal to an enchanted world. Among its ancient trees and crystal-clear lakes resides a fairy named Niev. This urban park, with its arched bridges and winding paths, holds secrets of Celtic culture, where the magical and the mundane coexist in a delicate dance invisible to common eyes. Niev is a guardian fairy, endowed with ethereal beauty and a serene presence that calms anyone fortunate enough to cross her path. Her hair is like shining silver threads, and her eyes reflect the depth of the Atlantic Ocean. She wears a cloak woven with flower petals and leaves, changing colors with the seasons. Niev's mission is to maintain harmony between humans and nature, a task she carries out with dedication and love. Celtic culture is rich in stories of fairies, nature spirits, and ancient gods, mystical beings who care for the balance of the world. The Celts believed that every element of nature had a guardian spirit, and Niev is one of these guardians. She is known to magical creatures and sensitive humans who can still feel the magic in the air. Many don't know, but the tranquility they feel while strolling through the park, the sense of peace and renewal, is a gift from Niev. Central Park, with its centuries-old trees and hidden corners, is a reflection of the ancient Celtic world. There is a special tree, a gigantic oak known as the Tree of Destiny, at the center of the park. It is said that this oak was planted centuries ago by druids who wished to protect the essence of nature in a sacred place. Its deep roots connect to the heart of the earth, and its branches touch the sky, forming a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. Celtic traditions deeply value nature and its cycles. Seasonal festivals, like Samhain, Beltane, and Lugnasad, are celebrated with rituals that honor the earth and the spirits inhabiting it. In Central Park, Niev performs her own rituals, often invisible to human eyes. On full moon nights, she dances around the Tree of Destiny, chanting ancient songs that echo through the forest and beyond. These rituals help maintain the balance between the human and spiritual worlds, ensuring that both coexist in harmony. Despite the urbanization around, Central Park remains a haven of serenity where ancient magic still pulses beneath the surface. The park's stones, the murmuring streams, and the bird songs are part of a natural symphony that tells stories of bygone times. For the Celts, everything had a spirit, and this belief still resonates in every leaf and flower in the park. Niev watches the park's visitors with affection. She sees couples walking hand in hand, children running and laughing, and the elderly sitting on benches enjoying the peace. She feels their worries and joys, their sorrows and hopes. And with her subtle magic, she touches their lives in small but significant ways. A smile that appears without reason, a moment of clarity, a comforting dream, all are touches from Niev, the guardian fairy of Central Park. Isla is a young woman who, at first glance, appears as ordinary as anyone else. However, her green eyes reveal a depth of feelings and experiences that few can understand. She works as an illustrator, creating images that capture the essence of nature and dreams, often inspired by her walks in Central Park. Isla moved to the city a few years ago, seeking to escape a painful past and find a new beginning. Since she was a child, Isla always felt deeply connected to nature. She grew up listening to her grandmother's stories about fairies, forest spirits, and ancient Celtic gods. These stories comforted her and made her feel that there was something more in the world, something magical and beautiful. After her grandmother's death, Isla felt a void that seemed impossible to fill. She moved to the big city, hoping that the bustling life would help her forget the pain, but found solace in the peaceful landscapes of Central Park. However, Isla carries a trauma with her. A few years ago, she suffered an accident that left her with physical and emotional scars. Since then, she has struggled with anxiety and depression, often feeling lost and disconnected from the world around her. Her art became an escape valve, a way to express her emotions and reconnect with the beauty her grandmother always said existed. One day, while sketching near the Tree of Destiny, Isla met Niev. The fairy, sensing Isla's pain and sadness, decided to approach and help her. Niev appeared to Isla as an ordinary woman, but with eyes that seemed to contain all the knowledge and wisdom of the natural world. They talked about art, nature, and life, and Isla felt an immediate connection with Niev, as if reuniting with an old friend. Niev began guiding Isla on small journeys through the park, showing her hidden secrets and the beauties that most people overlooked. Each walk was a discovery, a lesson in life and healing. Niev taught Isla to listen to the whisper of the trees, to feel the earth's energy beneath her feet, and to perceive the magic in the birds' songs. Gradually, Isla started to feel more connected with herself and the world around her. Unbeknownst to Isla, Niev was using her magic to heal her. Each encounter, each conversation, was imbued with subtle enchantments that helped ease her pain and restore her spirit. Isla began to notice changes in herself. Her nights were less haunted by nightmares. Her days were filled with more moments of joy and peace. She started to smile more, to laugh again, and her art flourished, reflecting the beauty and magic she was rediscovering. Niev, for her part, felt deep satisfaction in helping Isla. She knew the path to complete healing would be long, but she was determined to be by Isla's side every step of the way. The fairies saw in Isla a kind and creative soul, someone who, with the right time and care, could not only heal her own wounds but also spread beauty and inspiration to others. And so, with patience and love, Niev continued her mission, maintaining the harmony between humans and nature, one life at a time. Isla's days in Central Park became a routine of discovery and healing. She visited the park daily, eager for her walks with Niev. Each encounter brought a new lesson, a new secret revealed. But one day, something different happened. While walking through the woods near the lake, Niev suddenly stopped, her eyes glowing with unusual intensity. Isla, Niev began, her voice soft but firm, "There's something I need to show you. It's a journey you must undertake alone, but it will change your life forever." Isla looked at Niev, surprised and slightly apprehensive. "I'm ready," she replied, though her heart beat faster. Niev guided Isla to a hidden clearing where a small wooden door was embedded in an ancient tree. "This door leads to a special place, where you will find answers and challenges that will test your courage and determination," explained Niev. "But remember, I will always be with you in spirit. Believe in the magic you carry within you." With a final encouraging smile, Niev opened the door. Isla, with her heart racing and a mix of excitement and nerves, stepped forward and crossed the portal. Suddenly, she found herself in a completely different world. The air was fresh and fragrant, and the colors around her seemed more vivid and intense. Isla walked along a stone path, observing the unknown flora and fauna. Bright flowers bloomed along the way, and colorful birds sang melodies that seemed to tell ancient stories. She felt a wave of peace and familiarity, as if this magical world were welcoming her back home. As she advanced, Isla came upon a small enchanted village. The houses were made of wood and stone, with thatched roofs and windows adorned with flowers. The village inhabitants, magical beings of all kinds, watched her with curiosity. There were fairies, leprechauns, and other creatures Isla had only read about in books. An elderly leprechaun approached her, his eyes shining with wisdom and kindness. "Welcome, Isla," he said with a bow. "We are the guardians of this place, and we know you seek answers. Your journey here will not be easy, but we are here to help you. You must find 3 magical artifacts scattered throughout this world. Each represents an aspect of your healing and growth. The first artifact, the leprechaun explained, was a crystal symbolizing clarity and truth. You must search in the Valley of Shadows, he said. There, you will face your deepest fears, but by finding the crystal, you will see the truth about yourself. Isla thanked the leprechaun and set off for the Valley of Shadows. The path was winding and surrounded by tall trees that blocked the sunlight. The darkness and silence were oppressive, but Isla remained firm, remembering Nia's words. In the heart of the valley, she found a cave and entered, determined to face whatever awaited her. Inside the cave, shadows danced on the walls, forming figures that seemed to emerge from her nightmares. Isla felt fear tighten her heart, but she took a deep breath and moved forward. In the cave's center, on a stone pedestal, was the crystal. As she approached, the shadows tried to envelop her, whispering doubts and fears in her ears. Isla, with the strength she learned from Niev, ignored the shadows and focused on the crystal. When her fingers touched the crystal, a bright light exploded, dissipating the shadows and filling the cave with a soft clarity. Isla felt a wave of peace and understanding. She saw reflections of her life, her pains and victories, and realized that the fears she carried were just part of her journey, not definitions of who she was. With the crystal in hand, Isla left the cave, feeling lighter and more confident. She knew this was just the beginning of her adventure, but she was ready to face whatever came. The path ahead was still unknown, but with her newly discovered clarity, she knew she could find the other artifacts and eventually complete the healing of her heart. As Isla continued her journey, she felt confidence growing within her. The next artifact she needed to find was a rare flower known as the Flower of Hope, which bloomed only on the peaks of the misty mountains. The journey there would be long and full of challenges, but Isla was determined to press on. On the way to the mountains, Isla met several creatures who helped her. A black raven with intelligent eyes, named Bran, became her guide, flying ahead and finding the best paths. A clever fox, Luff, accompanied her, offering companionship and wisdom. Together, they faced the first difficulties: turbulent rivers, dense forests, and treacherous terrain. As they climbed the misty mountains, Isla began to feel the weight of the journey. The air grew thinner and colder, and each step was harder than the last. On a particularly cold night, while resting in a cave, an unexpected snowstorm began to blow, blocking the entrance and leaving them trapped. The tension grew as Isla realized their supplies were running low. Bran and Luff tried to keep her warm and encouraged, but the worry was palpable. Sitting in the cave, hugging her knees, Isla began to doubt herself. What if she couldn't make it? What if she stayed trapped there forever? Then Isla remembered Niamh's lessons. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, connecting with the magic within her. She visualized the sun's warmth and the earth's strength, letting these energies flow through her body. Gradually, she felt a new wave of determination and calm. With renewed courage, Isla decided to explore the cave. At the back, she found a narrow tunnel that seemed to lead to an alternative path. Together, Isla, Bran, and Luff followed the tunnel, which eventually led them outside, on the other side of the mountain. The storm still raged, but they were now free and could continue. The challenges didn't stop there. As they approached the peak where the Flower of Hope grew, Isla encountered an old, unstable bridge swaying dangerously over a deep abyss. The wind blew strongly, threatening to knock them down at any moment. With her heart in her throat, Isla began to cross the bridge, one step at a time. Midway, the wood under her feet gave way, and Isla clung desperately to the side ropes. Bran flew around, croaking frantically, while Luff, on the other side, encouraged Isla to continue. Gathering all her strength, Isla managed to pull herself back up and continue the crossing, reaching the other side exhausted but safe. Finally, at the top of the misty mountains, Isla found the flower of hope. The flower glowed with a soft, warm light, illuminating the snow around it. As she picked the flower, Isla felt a wave of hope and renewed energy, knowing she was closer to completing her journey. With the crystal and the flower in hand, Isla descended the mountains, feeling stronger and more determined than ever. She knew there was still one more artifact to find, but now she truly believed in her ability to face any challenge that came her way. Her journey was far from over, but with each step, she felt closer to finding the peace and healing she so deeply sought. After leaving the misty mountains, Isla headed towards the Forest of Illusions, where she believed the third and final artifact, the Amulet of Wisdom, was located. The forest was known for its tricks and traps, but also for housing magical beings that could help her. Right at the forest entrance, Isla found a circle of glowing mushrooms, known as a fairy ring. Determined to move forward, she stepped into the ring and was immediately enveloped by a golden mist. When the mist dissipated, she found herself in front of a group of fairies, small and luminous, with wings shimmering like crystal. One of the fairies, named Aisling, approached Isla. "Welcome, traveler," said Aisling with a melodious voice. "We know you seek the Amulet of Wisdom. But to find it, you must pass tests that will prove your worthiness and strength." Isla nodded, ready to face whatever came. Aisling guided her through the forest, where they encountered mythical beings like Selkies, creatures that can transform from seal to human, and dryads, tree spirits. Each offered advice and help, guiding Isla on her journey. At one point, Isla found a wide, deep river she needed to cross. However, the current was strong and dangerous. Suddenly, a large aquatic creature emerged from the waters. It was a Kelpie, a water spirit that often dragged travelers to their depths. The Kelpie, however, was in a gentle form and offered Isla help. "Climb on my back," said the Kelpie, "and I will carry you across." Although reluctant at first, Isla accepted the offer and crossed the river safely, thanking the Kelpie for its kindness. Further into the forest, Isla and her companions found an enchanted grove where sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating hypnotic patterns on the ground. In the grove's center, under golden branches, a majestic figure awaited Cernunnos, the Lord of Animals. Cernunnos greeted Isla with a penetrating gaze. "I have observed your journey, Isla," he said. "You have proven your courage and determination. The Amulet of Wisdom is near, but first, you must answer a question. Only then will you be worthy to possess it." Isla took a deep breath, ready for the challenge. Cernunnos asked, "What is true wisdom?" Isla thought deeply, recalling everything she had learned until that moment. "True wisdom," she replied, "is recognizing our own limitations, accepting the help of others, and learning from every experience, good or bad." Cernunnos smiled, satisfied with the answer. "You are wise, Isla. The amulet is yours." With a gesture, he conjured a golden amulet that floated gently into Isla's hands. As she touched the amulet, Isla felt a wave of understanding and clarity, as if all the world's wisdom had been revealed to her. With all three artifacts in hand, Isla knew her journey was almost complete. She thanked Cernunnos and the other forest creatures for their help and began to return to the portal through which she had entered. Bran and Luff remained by her side, her loyal companions. As they walked back, Isla reflected on everything she had learned. She now understood that every challenge faced and every magical encounter had prepared her for a brighter and more hopeful future. She felt stronger, more confident, and above all, at peace with herself. Crossing the portal back to Central Park, Isla felt Nia's comforting presence. The fairy awaited her, smiling radiantly. "Congratulations, Isla," said Neve. You have completed your journey with grace and courage. Now, you are ready for the next chapter of your life, one full of hope, wisdom, and magic. Isla hugged Neve, grateful for all the help and guidance. She knew that although her magical journey had ended, the true adventure of her life was just beginning. And with Neve by her side, she was ready to face anything the future brought. After returning to Central Park, Isla felt invigorated and transformed. But Neve knew there was still one last test Isla needed to face, something that would put all the courage and wisdom she had gained on her journey to the ultimate test. The fairy, with a serious yet encouraging look, approached Isla and said, "There is still a final challenge, Isla. Something that will test your courage in a way you have never experienced before." Intrigued and slightly apprehensive, Isla listened attentively as Neve explained. There is an ancient curse at the heart of Central Park, a shadow that threatens the harmony we maintain here. This curse is tied to a vengeful spirit that haunts the park, feeding on the fears and sorrows of visitors. To restore complete peace, this spirit must be confronted and released. Feeling a mix of fear and determination, Isla nodded. She knew this was the climax of her journey, the ultimate proof of her courage. Neve led her to a part of the park she had never visited before, a dense and dark area where the trees formed a natural dome, blocking the sunlight. In the center of this dark clearing, a spectral figure floated, enveloped in shadows emitting a cold, oppressive energy. It was the spirit of an ancient Celtic warrior, condemned to wander the park due to a betrayal committed centuries ago. His name was Cathal, and his presence radiated pain and fury. Neve explained that to release Cathal, Isla would need to confront her own fears and offer him an act of compassion and forgiveness. He needs to feel the purity of your heart and the power of your forgiveness, said Neve. Only then can he find peace and free himself from his curse. With her heart racing, Isla approached Cathal. She felt the shadows trying to invade her mind, whispering her deepest insecurities and fears. But she remained firm, remembering everything she had learned. She took a deep breath, evoking the clarity of the crystal, the hope of the flower, and the wisdom of the amulet. I know your pain, Cathal, Isla began, her voice firm yet gentle. I too have felt lost and betrayed. But I found strength to forgive and move on. I offer you my forgiveness and compassion. May you find the peace you seek. The shadows around Cathal began to dissipate, and his spectral figure became clearer. He looked at Isla, his eyes once filled with hatred now showing gratitude and relief. Thank you, he said, his voice echoing like a whisper in the wind. Your kindness has freed me. With these words, Cathal disappeared, and the dark clearing was flooded with a soft, comforting light. Neve, with a radiant smile, approached Isla. You did it, Isla. You showed extraordinary courage and a pure heart. Now, the park is at peace, thanks to you. Isla felt a wave of relief and satisfaction. She knew she had faced her greatest fear and emerged victorious. Neve placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. Come, there is something else I need to show you, said the fairy. Together, they walked to the Tree of Destiny. Neve gestured, and the tree began to glow with a golden light. This is the symbol of restored harmony, explained Neve. And as proof of your courage and pure heart, this tree will grant you a wish. Think carefully, Isla. What do you wish for most? Isla closed her eyes, reflecting on everything she had experienced and learned. When she opened her eyes, she knew exactly what to wish for. I wish that everyone who visits this park feels the same peace and healing I found here. The tree glowed intensely for a moment, then the light softened, spreading throughout the park. Neve smiled, proud of Isla. Your wish is noble and generous. The park will be a place of healing and peace for all, thanks to you. Isla felt overwhelmed with gratitude and joy. She knew that despite the difficulties, her journey had transformed her in deep and meaningful ways. She was ready to live her life with a new purpose and new hope, knowing that there would always be magic and kindness around her. With the curse broken and Cathel's spirit freed, Central Park flourished in ways Isla had never seen before. The flowers seemed more vibrant, the streams clearer, and a sense of peace and serenity enveloped everyone who walked its paths. However, Isla knew her work wasn't finished. There was more to be done to ensure the park remained a sanctuary of tranquility and healing. One morning, while walking through the park, Isla found a group of people gathered around a tree. Curious, she approached and saw they were artists, musicians, and poets, all inspired by the park's beauty and the renewed energy they felt there. An elderly man with white hair and a long beard, who introduced himself as Eamon, led the group. "Welcome, young artist," said Eamon with a warm smile. "We gather here to celebrate the magic of this place and share our art with the world. Something has changed recently, and we all feel a new energy flowing. Do you know what happened?" Isla told them about her journey and how she had helped free Cathel's spirit with Mia's help. The group listened intently, marveling at her story. "We need to work together to maintain this energy," said Eamon. "If we all unite, we can protect this place and ensure it remains a sanctuary for everyone." From that day on, Isla and the group of artists formed an alliance. They met regularly in the park, creating works of art inspired by nature and the place's magic. Musicians played soft melodies that echoed through the paths, poets recited verses capturing the park's essence, and painters and sculptors created pieces reflecting the surrounding beauty and serenity. Niev, watching from afar, felt deeply satisfied. The Artists' Alliance helped maintain the balance and harmony she had fought so hard to protect. More than that, they were sharing the park's magic with the world, spreading beauty and inspiration. Isla, for her part, found new purpose in her life. Working with the group of artists brought her joy and a sense of community she had lost after the accident. Together, they organized events and exhibitions in the park, attracting visitors from all over the city. Each event was a celebration of nature and art, and Isla felt grateful to be part of something so special. One day, while working on a new illustration near the Tree of Destiny, Isla felt a familiar presence. Looking up, she saw a young woman with red hair and bright eyes. "Hello, Isla," said the woman with a smile. "My name is Aoife. I heard about your incredible journey and came to offer my help." Aoife was a healer and practitioner of Celtic magic, and she had felt the change in Central Park from afar. "This place is full of ancient and powerful energy," Aoife explained. "With the right help, we can amplify this energy and create an even more healing and magical space." Isla and Aoife quickly became friends and began working together. Aoife brought her healing skills and knowledge of ancient rituals, and together they performed ceremonies to strengthen the park's magic. They used herbs, crystals, and chants, involving the artists and visitors in the ceremonies, making them part of the magic they created. Over time, Central Park became a focal point of healing and inspiration in the city. People came from afar to experience the peace and serenity it offered. Artists found inspiration, and those seeking healing found comfort and renewal. Isla, surrounded by friends and colleagues who shared her passion and vision, finally felt at home. She knew that the journey she had undertaken not only healed her wounds but also created a lasting legacy of beauty and magic for everyone. Niev, watching from her hidden refuge, felt proud of her protégé and the community that had formed. Together, Isla, Aoife, and the other artists continued to protect and celebrate Central Park, ensuring it remained a sanctuary of peace, healing, and inspiration for all who crossed its gates. The newly discovered tranquility in Central Park was disturbed by rumors of an evil force threatening the place's peace and harmony. Niev, sensing the disturbance, summoned Isla and Aoife for an urgent meeting. "There is a darkness approaching," said Niev with a grave look. Something ancient and powerful is awakening, and we must be prepared to face it. Aoife, with her knowledge of Celtic magic, explained that the threat came from an evil spirit known as Balor, an ancient being of destruction that had been imprisoned for centuries. He was accidentally released and now seeks revenge, said Aoife. If we don't stop him, he will destroy everything we've built here. Determined to protect the park and its inhabitants, Isla, Aoife, Niamh, and the artists formed a defense alliance. They spent days preparing protection spells and strengthening the park's magical boundaries. However, they knew the final battle would require more than magic. It would require courage, unity, and sacrifice. On the night Balor finally appeared, darkness spread through the park. The trees swayed violently, and a cold wind howled through the leaves. In the park's center, Balor emerged, his presence imposing and threatening. His eyes glowed with an evil fire, and an aura of destruction emanated from him. Isla, Aoife, and Niamh faced Balor together. Aoife cast containment spells while Niamh used her magic to protect the artists and visitors who had gathered. Isla, armed with the 3 artifacts she had found on her journey, confronted Balor directly. "You do not belong here, Balor," Isla shouted, her voice full of determination. "We will not allow you to destroy what we have built with so much love and effort." Balor laughed, a deep and terrifying sound. "You, a mere mortal, think you can stop me?" he roared. "I am eternal darkness, destruction incarnate." With the artifacts in hand, Isla felt a wave of power and courage. The crystal of clarity, the flower of hope, and the amulet of wisdom glowed intensely, filling her with pure, luminous energy. She advanced, determined to face Balor with all the strength she possessed. As the battle unfolded, Balor launched attacks of shadows and fire, trying to take down Isla and her companions. But each time he attacked, Isla used the artifacts to counter his darkness with light. The crystal reflected his malice back at him, the flower dissipated his shadows, and the amulet brought wisdom and strategies to her movements. At the battle's peak, Balor conjured a storm of darkness that threatened to engulf everything. Isla, feeling the weight of the moment, closed her eyes and focused. "Please, help us," she whispered, directing her plea to the park's spirit and nature's forces. Suddenly, an intense light emerged from the Tree of Destiny. The tree, responding to Isla's call, emitted pure energy that enveloped the park. Balor's shadows began to dissipate, and his strength drained. Niamh and Aoife combined their magic with the trees, creating an unbreakable barrier of light and hope. Balor, weakened and furious, launched a final desperate attack. Isla, with the 3 artifacts combined, channeled all her energy and fired a beam of light straight to Balor's heart. The darkness vanished, and Balor let out a scream of agony before disappearing completely. The battle was over. The park, now bathed in light and peace, was safe once again. Isla, exhausted but triumphant, fell to her knees, feeling a wave of relief and gratitude. Niamh and Aoife approached, helping her to her feet. "You were incredible, Isla," said Niamh, her eyes shining with pride. "Your courage and determination saved this place." The artists and visitors, who had watched the battle with fear and hope, began to applaud and celebrate. The park had been saved, and the victory belonged to everyone. Isla, with a tired but satisfied smile, felt at peace. She knew that despite all the difficulties, she had found her inner strength and fulfilled her purpose. With Balor defeated and peace restored in Central Park, Isla and her friends began to rebuild and further strengthen the park's harmony. The following days were filled with work and celebration. The artists continued to create, inspired by the courage and determination they had witnessed. The park flourished with new life, more vibrant and magical than ever. Isla, now a central figure in the park's community, felt deeply connected to the place and the people around her. The scars of her past, both physical and emotional, had transformed into marks of her journey and growth. She knew that although her initial mission was complete, her role as a guardian and defender of the park would continue. Niev, satisfied with the work done, appeared to Isla one last time. "You have done more than you could imagine, Isla," said Niev with a serene smile. "You transformed yourself and brought peace to many. Central Park will always be a place of healing, thanks to you." Isla, with eyes full of gratitude, replied, "I couldn't have done it without you, Niev. Your guidance and wisdom were essential. Thank you for believing in me." Niev touched Isla's shoulder lightly. "Now it's time for you to continue your path. I will always be here in spirit, but your journey is now yours. Use what you've learned to help others, to continue spreading beauty and magic." With these words, Niev disappeared, leaving Isla with a sense of peace and fulfillment. Looking around, she saw her friends and fellow artists, all united by their love for nature and the park. Isla knew she had found her true home and purpose. Aoife, who had become a close friend, approached and hugged Isla. "Let's continue our work together," she said. "There is much more to be done, and with our group of artists, we can make a big difference." Isla nodded, feeling more prepared than ever. "Yes, let's. There are so many people who need healing and inspiration. And this park will be a beacon of hope for everyone." In the months and years that followed, Isla and her friends continued to care for Central Park. They organized seasonal festivals, celebrating Celtic traditions and nature's beauty. They held workshops on art, music, and healing, attracting people of all ages and backgrounds. Each event was a celebration of life, a testament to the transformative power of courage, compassion, and unity. Isla became a mentor to many, sharing her experiences and helping others find their own inner strength. Her work as an illustrator flourished, with her pieces being appreciated by many, inspired by the wonders she had witnessed and lived. Each artwork was a tribute to the journey she had undertaken and the magic she had discovered. Under Isla and her allies' protection, Central Park became a sacred and magical place, a refuge of peace amid the city's chaos. Visitors came from far and wide to experience the serenity and healing the park offered. And in every corner, every tree and flower, Niev's presence and ancient magic could still be felt, reminding everyone of the natural world's beauty and power. Isla knew her journey would never truly end. There would always be new challenges, new people to help, and new beauties to discover. But now, with the wisdom, courage, and hope she had acquired, she was ready for anything. And as she looked to the future, she felt at peace, knowing she had found her true place in the world. And so, the story of Isla, Nieve, and Central Park became a living legend, passed down through generations, inspiring many to believe in magic, seek healing, and celebrate nature's beauty. A story of courage, love, and transformation that would continue to shine through the ages. Good night and enchanted dreams.